What's up everybody, Fritz here. In today's video we're going to go over the best power modifications you can do for your BMW for $1,000. Let's get into the video. As you can see, it's dark and rainy. Cold, rainy weather. That typically means that we're entering in the holiday seasons. So some of you might be searching for that perfect gift for the BMW enthusiast, or you as a BMW enthusiast are looking for a great gift for yourself. And no matter who these modifications are for, this is going to be the best buyer's guide out there because we're going to keep costs low while keeping quality high. Now I will say that this is not the first $1,000 that you should spend on your BMW. If you want to see a video on that, please let me know down in the comment section. But we're going to go over the best power modifications for $1,000 here in the particular order in which that you should get them in. But this cold, wet, dark weather is not the best to do a video in. So let's punch forward to a sunnier day. Now that's better. As for these first two modifications that we're going to go over, they can be done interchangeably. Everything else is going to be in a specific order. And that's because these first two, you can actually wait for the air filter to be replaced. So get the most use out of the air filter that came on your car when you first got it. Typically this is going to be a paper filter. But if your filter's still good, then the first thing that I would recommend is that you get the air scoop. And this is made by AFE, and this goes just behind and off to the side of the front driver's side grille. And what makes this so great is that it actually directs airflow into the air duct that brings in air to the car. This is going to make it so that you're getting better laminar flow because it has to actually get behind the grille without the air scoop there. The air scoop actually pokes just behind the grille and can pick up airflow directly. This modification is about $50 if you're getting this for yourself or as a gift for somebody else who is just getting into the DIY aspects of BMWs or cars in general. It's probably a 2 out of 10 on the difficulty level scale, and something that you're definitely going to notice, especially as you go higher up in speed. Now, once you have the air scoop and once your air filter has been used up, and when I say used up, you're gonna know because all that you need to really do for your air filter is look at it on one side, look at it on the other, and you're going to be able to see the color difference. That is an indication that it's time for you to change your air filter. Another indication is if you notice that you're not getting good laminar flow of air. So if you see or feel a reduction in torque, this is a good time for you to change your air filter. Now you have a couple of options here with your air filter. You could either go with the regular paper filter. The problem with the paper filter is that it doesn't do the best job in terms of performance. If you're looking to filter out dirty air, the paper filter is the way to go. But if you want more performance, then I would say go ahead and do a drop-in filter, and you have two options here. You could either do a dry filter, which is the one that I have, or you could do an oiled filter. Now, the difference between the two is that some people say that the oil filter gives you a little bit more performance than the dry filter. You do have to keep up with it, so it is a little bit more maintenance with the oiled filter versus the dry filter. The oiled filter from K&N is about $50. The dry filter from AFE is about $80. Why not get the cheaper oiled filter? Well, that's because the oiled filter is just the filter. It doesn't include the oil, and it doesn't include the detergent to clean the oil every time that you have to clean the filter. The dry filter is just a simple one step. You can vacuum it out, or you can use some soap and water depending on the brand. With the oiled filter, you have to constantly re-oil it, and you have to use the special detergent to remove that oil to make sure that you're, one, removing the oil, but two, not damaging the filter. So you have to factor that into cost as well. If you're wondering why we're not going with a cold air intake, it's pretty much because the only real difference between the stock airbox and the cold air intake system is that it's typically left open, so it allows for more sound, but more specifically is the filter. But if we're using that same filter style in our airbox, then we get the same performance. So if you don't care about sound, doing a drop-in filter is the way to go, and it's going to save you a lot of money and for sure going to keep you in that $1,000 range. So now that we've covered the modifications that are going to help you better improve the intake of the car, I think this is a good time for us to discuss the differences between torque and horsepower. You can think about torque as loading up. So our torque in the car is going to be our ability to bring in air ready to combust. So the torque is that real winding of the car. So those first few RPMs that we drive into. Horsepower typically doesn't kick in until later on in the power band. So these first two modifications are really going to help us bring in more air into the system for the system to combust. In order to offset the better air filter and the air scoop, the next modification that we're going to go over is the downpipe. And the downpipe that I went with on the M235i is a catless downpipe from VRSF. And the reason why I went with the catless downpipe is because the M235i has a single exhaust pipe. It doesn't have a dual exhaust pipe like the M2, where it can rely on the alternative exhaust pipe in order to help those pulsating gases pull on each other in order to pull the system out. In a system like that, you're going to see a little bit more of a benefit from going to high flow cats. If you go to high flow cats on a system that's in the M235i, then you won't see that big of a benefit. But if you go catless, you're definitely going to notice it. And it is going to help expel those gases that were increasing in the engine bay because of the air scoop and the air filter. So we need a better scavenging process here. And that's why I went with the catless downpipe. And in all honesty, a catless downpipe is a single piece of metal. It's nothing fancy. It's going to change color because of the heat that's exposed to, and of course you can put a certain finish on it and delay that process, but over time it's going to change color no matter what. You're not going to get that much more of a benefit from doing a high flow cat or a catalytic converter where the color doesn't change. Now if this is a show car, then go ahead and go with that finish in order to prolong the stainless steel finish of the pipe. VRSF. They are probably the cheapest brand out there when it comes to doing a catless downpipe. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below. But at the time that I was looking at catless downpipes, they were the cheapest, and so I went with them. Not only that, they give a lifetime warranty on their product, so that means they stand by them. So who am I to question the quality of the product? If it goes bad, just go ahead and use that lifetime warranty and get a new one. And I did forget to say that the drop-in filter, that's a 1 out of 10, and the downpipe is a 5 out of 10. Because it is a tight area and you do have to get your hands into those tight areas. But if it not for that tight areas, it would probably be easier. As it stands right now with those 3 modifications, we are at $380. The last concession that you can make, which is going to lead us into our 4th modification, is a tune. I went with boot mode 3, and this is $600. If you want all of the off-the-shelf maps, you can do it for $50 more, which brings us to $1,030. So we're slightly over $1,000 here. Now, if you're gonna go to a shop and get everything put in, or you're gonna put everything at once and then tune it, then perhaps you don't need all of the off-the-shelf maps. The concessions that we can have here in order to stay within that $1,000 mark are don't get the air filter or don't get all of the off-the-shelf maps. The caveat with not getting all of the off-the-shelf maps is that you have to do all of your bolt-ons at once. Otherwise, you're going to need that stage 1 to stage 2 tune. And that's not to say that a stage 1 tune isn't good, because I loved it when I had it, but a stage 2 tune with the catless downpipe, a whole lot better. And the reason why I went with boot mode is because it allows for so much customization here, but it also, with its off-the-shelf maps, is good for a novice just getting into tuning. So if you don't want to control all of the intricacies, do the off-the-shelf maps. If you want all the intricacies, elaborate on the off-the-shelf maps. And that is actually the order that I would do them in. I would do them in order in which that you are receiving airflow in and out of the car. And it all starts with the intake, so doing the air scoop, improving the air filter. And then once you have the better air filter, do the downpipe. And all these bolt-ons are great on their own, and you will notice a difference in it in the BMWs, but you're really gonna notice it when you do it too. So that completes the $1,000 challenge that we had for horsepower modifications on the BMW. If you guys have any questions for me, leave it down in the comment section below. If you need anything that we went over in this video, I'm gonna leave the playlist at the end of this video and all of the links to the products down in the description, as well as the link to the Room Tour merch. If this video helped you out, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.